I can hear the echoes of Father's jovial laughter all the way from here, at the end of this hallway. Next to the Father stood the Knight of the White Moon, having taken my place. I hide behind a pillar, peering at the pair. I recall the words of my father. I recall the words you used to impale my heart like a stake. I am no longer in need of your company. Please, divert your care to Manchaland and the rest of the family. Look after them.
Versus Don Quixote.
Please, divert your care to being mommy.
I
don't know what you want me to say.
I feel like I've ruined the podcast forever. I mean, I kind of feel about. I feel
as it so often happens.
I feel like this is sort of like every little sort of bit and joke that we implement is just like we're sort of slowly ruining our own precious object. But like, and I'm not gonna say the mommy thing is a step too far. But it is like now it's here.
Now it's here.
Now it's part of the fabric of the show, sort of irrevocably. Great. Hi, welcome to Soulmates, where we talk about all our favorite little guys in all our favorite little games. This week, they are little. Don't worry about it. I'm Ivy Fox. You can find me nowhere right now. But you can find this show many places, including you can find it on... you can find it on YouTube, where you can subscribe and give us a little like and chat with us in the comments. Or you can find us on your podcast app of choice, where you can give us a little 5-star review just to help us out. It really helps us out. The algorithm it hates us. It wants to consume us. We're gay and we're weird, and so it wants us dead. But you want us to be alive? ? So help us out. Joining me as always, staring down at me as I die in the gutter, is Ash.
Hi, it's Ash. I didn't prepare a bit for this one.
That's fine.
But you can find me. You can find me on the carousel, on the merry-go-round, which is my favorite attraction at the carnival. And I got this from my mother, who always insisted on riding on the carousel whenever we went to any kind of like theme park or fair. But you cannot find me on the Ferris wheel, because I've been on fair. I'm afraid of heights. And I think the last time I went on a Ferris wheel, when it ended, we were at the top, and I was freaking out. I was like, I'm never doing this again. So carousel, low to the ground, chill. It's got little horsies on it. So if you you should come and in a circle run. I also run the show's social media on soul-mates-podcast.tumblr.com. You can support the show at ko-fi.com/ivyfoxart, all one word, and you can support me at ko-fi.com/asherlark. Back to you.
Our music, it's by Sueños Electronicos, who you can find on Bandcamp, and our art is by Ryegarden, who you can find on Instagram. I think I usually say those in the order, but like variety is the spice of life. In this season, we're talking about I almost said Lobotomy Corporation.
We're talking about the guys from Lobotomy Corporation.
Talking about the guys from Lobotomy Corporation. That's right. It's time to give a cute, an appealing, and a Kinsey scale number to censored. We're talking about the guys from Limbus Company by Project Moon, a blend of cute and appealing sinners with tactical RPG brawls. I think that's it.
Yeah.
Is that it? Did we do sales? That was a pretty tight intro.
Yeah, we're doing great.
We're doing great. Maybe we should start earlier in the evening instead of later in the evening, and this would be good for sort of obvious reasons. But instead, most of the time, we don't do that, and that's fine.
We're recording this episode about an hour earlier than we usually record. Also, I'm ill.
Ash is like the signs point to like.
I have like a cold.
I think tomorrow morning Ash will wake up and be like extremely sick. So we were like, we have to record this episode as soon as possible. So by the time you hear this, Ash probably will be sick, and you should send well wishes to the Tumblr.
Either I'll wake up and I'll be like, I feel amazing, and so it's totally fine, or I'll wake up and I'll be like, but I probably will have start losing my voice. But I haven't started losing my voice yet, and so we have to record a podcast episode right now.
We don't record a podcast. Like I was out, and we were texting, and I was like, okay, I'm headed home right now
to record a podcast episode before you like pass out and die at 10 p.m.
Yeah, babe, come over. I'm about to be sick.
It's scheduled for later.
Anyway, hi, it's Don Quixote B.
It's Don Quixote B, part 2 of Don Quixote. Did we say Sancho September on the podcast, or did you come up with that for the episode description of the last episode?
See, this makes me think that you're sick. Yes, I said that in the episode. We said it multiple times.
Oh, okay. Well, I thought it was really funny, and I was like, oh wow, what a novelty when I saw it. It is Sancho September. That's crazy.
It is Sancho September. It's the finale of Sancho September.
I've been a little sick for like a week.
Uh-huh.
It's the finale of Sancho September.
I was about to say it's time to get into the good Don Quixotes, but honestly, as far as like guys in this game are considered, Don Quixote is one of the ones who has like an extremely well-rounded lineup.
Yeah.
There's no real Don Quixote like sort of ID in general, or even like really individual piece of art that I'm like, or not even that I'm like, but that I just like actively dislike. I think probably N Corp Uptie is been my least favorite so far, and even that I'm like, yeah, it's not bad. Yeah, it could be worse.
We'll get to a couple pieces of art that I have nuanced opinions on in this episode. But they do, I think, like, have her basically down from beat 1, on account of she's, like I said, one of the most iconic characters in this video game. And so they were like, we figured out how to do a Don Quixote. Like, don't even worry about it. Even during the sort of, like, sad girl extravaganza that is the beginning of her ID lineup, they know how to do a Don Quixote.
She's very clearly expressive in a distinct way, and the thing about like building art for a character that is this is that it's easy. It's so easy to make Don Quixote look like Don Quixote that you sort of get the feeling that it's pretty easy to make the rest of the art also look interesting, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's like, I'm not going to look at this piece of art and be like, well, that's not Don Quixote. It's like, well, no, she's highlighter yellow, first of all. Second of all, she's got big ol' eyes.
she's really simple shapes. She's a very clear emotional range. It's like, she's
Don
just a
Quixote. Yellow circle.
And then like I feel like there's sort of a push to put her in sort of funny and interesting situations.
Because
Because
she's very
she's
droll.
so droll and so just like clear.
Mm-hmm. God,
Um
there's some real good ones in this half too.
yeah. Should we get into it?
Yeah, we're starting with a really good one.
No fucking around.
Which is to say, one of my favorite guys in the whole video game, lobotomy ego lantern Don Quixote.
Uh-huh.
This is from the beginning of last year, which is 2024. So we've just exited 2023 and entered 2024. In terms of, it just feels like a good transition point to end an episode and start an episode. Incidentally,
I looked at this image and was sort of like pre-taking it in before we started recording. And I had such a nerd-ass thought, which is I looked at it and I saw Otis in the background, like really for the first time. And I was like, oh, she should be here because shit, what's that ego called? The gun.
Magic Bullet.
Yeah, problematic agent gun. Problematic baby gun.
Der Misclick.
Yeah,
is what my friends call that abnormality.
I was like, oh, it's she should be there because that's the weapon that you use to kill Meat Lantern. In the video game Lobotomy Corporation, your problematic gun baby is the one who goes and kills Meat Lantern. It's just like the logical choice.
Hey, this is actually a picture of Otis.
As are all pictures.
It's a little hard to see her, but like everything about this picture of Otis is, I'm just sort of really obsessed with it. First of all, this is my nerd reaction to this image, is that Don Quixote has the basic training band on her arm, but Otis has the upgraded one for having been in the department for long enough.
Yeah. Otis is the department head.
Yeah. And also, I don't think I noticed this until looking at this image pre-gaming for the podcast. But she's holding her pipe up in front of her face.
Oh, that's her pipe. I thought she was like pressing a handkerchief to her forehead in frustration.
It's sort of, that's what she's doing, like, in spirit, but she's doing it
with her pipe,
a tobacco pipe. It's like, what are you doing?
It also does bother me that Don Quixote is about to die, because I'm pretty sure that Lantern causes instant death.
Yeah, Lantern is an instant death abnormality, but don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it. Anyway, to talk about the actual Don Quixote,
yeah.
I think that this is one of the sort of the most like sort of texturally satisfying
oh my god,
images in this entire game. Like it's we'll get the obvious out of the way. The fluffy looks really good. Her suit does look really fluffy and just like a really nice. It's not over rendered, but it's just nice and tufty and fluffy, and the lighting across it is sort of like splotched, giving it a lot of depth. But it's also like she's just covered in good textures. I really like just like the line work on her even. But like, you know, these sort of like plasticky metal bits feel very sort of, they feel plastic, even though they might be supposed to be metal. But these horns feel very sharp. And this flower feels very, in her chest feels very papery. And it just like, this image just really shines in terms of its sort of tactile, just like this plasticky kind of perfectness.
Yeah, I mean, we'll get into a little bit more of getting to look at the ego suits from Lobotomy Corporation, but drawn more in a minute, because this is one of my favorite sets of art for getting to look at an ego suit from Lobotomy Corporation that looks interesting, and you know is drawn in more detail than it is in Lobotomy Corporation. But like, this already is one of the most immediately good and interesting ones for being covered in fluffy and you know, also teeth, and having this big, I love that the middle of the flower is just a light bulb. Like, it's not really an organic thing. It's a magical, glowy piece of glass and filament.
Yeah, it's like a, you know, it's like a metaphorical representation of a lamprey. It's just like, it's literally a light bulb that is like, ooh, shiny. It's bright.
And of course, her horns are like the best thing in this image. And I can't handle it. I don't know if this was one of the first. I don't think it was. I don't know if this is one of the first ones to come out that's like got a super appealing animal feature on the ID. But I'm a furry. I don't know if you know this about me. And I was just immediately taken in by these super textural, beautiful ram's horns that just suit her perfectly. I love her little sharp teeth from actually having the meat lantern ego gift. I love that her fragment of the universe ego gift is like a little piece of shiny plastic, and you can see that it's a different material from the rest of the things that she's wearing. This was the first, I think? Was this the first idea of a guy they released that was just like a lobotomy corp employee? Because I think it was.
I have an answer for your question, which is Faust came first.
Faust!
And
right.
then
I don't ever remember Regret
and
Faust,
then these two came
these were World Purchase Not 3.
Yeah, I think that's correct.
I don't ever remember Regret Faust. Sorry, Regret Faust. I use her all the time, but I forget that she's like a lobotomy ego guy.
She does nice AoE.
She does do nice AoE. But I just love all of her little ego gifts that she's accumulated from working with other abnormalities. She's a nugget. She's a guy from Lobotomy Corporation.
Yeah,
they just sort of like get random stuff.
Yeah, and we'll come back around to this when we see her again. But like I also feel like the selection of ego gifts they give guys is always very good. Like, you know, the notable lack of ego gifts on Butterfly Yi-song, because you kind of need a specialized butterfly baby.
He's a special boy, yeah.
Yeah.
You have to have a special butterfly boy because of the
various
skill
restrictions.
Cap.
Yeah. And then Otis has sort of like edgier IDs, and then Don Quixote has, you know, Don Quixote works with all like the cute little animals. She works with like the sheep and the child.
This is a shiny thing that everyone wants to touch.
This is just like a fluffy mat. And it's like, yeah. I also listen, let's put this to bed. Despite the controversy that harping on the Void Dream Dreaming Electric Sheep thing has brought us.
Sorry, Tumblr users.
Sorry, Tumblr users. But this is an important thing to archive. I'm sorry. I will point out that this ego gift, which is the Void Dream ego gift, is basically, literally, just the Dreaming Electric Sheep ego gift, except the horns go forward instead of back. And it's just like, that's all we have to say to that. But like, it's come up, so I have to mention it. Anyway, obviously, like, her pose is really good. Her body dynamics are really good. And the way her body dynamics, like, interact with all the textural stuff, I feel like I can really feel, like, the feeling of crouching down and having my, like, legs pushed together in this weird, heavy, fluffy outfit. Look at how heavy this outfit is. You can see at her, like, at her shirt cuff, how, like, thick this ego is. She must be sweltering. Like, obviously, her facial expression is incredible. The lighting in this is really good. It's like Don Quixote herself is glowing. Like, she's casting a little bit of light around her head. And, like, her light bulb is casting a little bit of light. And, like, the lantern light bulb is casting a little bit of light. And it just, like, it just looks so good. It's just such a nice image.
This is the lesson that everybody has to learn all the time, which is that when things are super, like, bright and colorful, that they look good because we're all children.
It's Yeah, it's easier to see things when there's contrast.
It's easier to see things when they're well. Sorry.
Start
Start
really
talking
have to
about
say.
TV shows. Her knees have little faces on them.
I know! I forgot to mention this because I got too caught up. But, like, yes, I guess all of these knee pads are like this, but these ones really have little faces. I love also that, like, intentional or not, they're looking up at the lantern. They're like, oh, wow.
I love that she's carrying her weapon, like, on her lap. And just has a hand on it. I also think that Meat Lantern is such a good choice for her because it comes with a big mace thing. They do a really good job of picking, like, not just sort of thematically interesting abnormalities for these guys, but also picking ones that, like, suit well to the general combat style of the guy and, like, have the right gear and weapon for the guy. Otis having a big gun in Magic Bullet, obviously. She's, like, the only person who wields a gun. And, like, even Regret Faust and her big-ass mace, which is similar to this big-ass mace, it's like, yeah, well, she's a blunt damage dealer. She's a heavy weapon user. And so I really like it. And also, she likes eating people.
Ugh, the weird fucking green veins going between the teeth on the Meat Lantern.
It's awesome.
It's so weird.
It's awesome.
I love how the weapon looks in her sprite, especially her guard sprite, when, like, it's facing forward and you can see this just kind of, like, pit maw. Fucking sick.
Yeah.
Next image?
And then in her Upside 3, it's not as good, but I still think this image is quite good. And I really am fond of it for a specific reason, which is that you get to see the bottom of the top of this ego gear in this image. You get to see the hem of this shirt. And it's very strange, but I kind of am obsessed with it.
Why? What is strange about it?
Well, it's like... It's metal. It's armored on the bottom. But it's also fabric.
Oh, I guess it does just, like, go straight from the metal to the... Fascinating.
Yeah. And so it's like... Well, if it's this, like, plasticky metal... it's Teth Ego Gear. You can't imagine that it's, like, good armor. If it's this, like, plasticky metal...
Sure.
Then this kind of makes sense. It's like you're wearing fake armor.
It does.
And it does have the instinctual silhouette of, like, wearing, like, a plate skirt. But it's just very odd.
Now you got me.
And I really like seeing it.
Now you got me being a little bit nitpicky just about this chess piece, which I do think is constructed well. Like, the way that you can see the various layers and how, like, you know, what is one piece and what is sort of bolted onto the next piece is very good. That being said, this little outcropping at the bottom of it, this little bit at the bottom, would, like, do terrible things for your upper body articulation, I think. Like, imagine...
It would just stab into your gut all the time.
Yeah, like great. a normal chess piece, like, the hard part doesn't extend that far past down your rib cage. Imagine if this thing, you try to lean forward. It's like, ugh. Well.
Now, I think in this image, she's suppressing Meat Lantern.
I don't think that's what's happening. First of all...
But that's sort of what happens in the Identity story, isn't it?
Is it? She suppresses Meat Lantern? But she can't suppress Meat Lantern.
No, it's an ordeal. Never mind.
Oh.
She's suppressing fucking Crimson something.
That also doesn't make sense to me. What I always thought this was, is she's suppressing, Fragment of the Universe, isn't she? Because Fragment of the Universe, one, you can see the kind of, like, sketch marker legs, right, of Fragment of the Universe? And doesn't Fragment of the Universe get this sort of big... Yeah, it does. Hang on, I'll send you a picture.
I'm looking at the breaching spray. It does have that.
Yeah, she's suppressing Fragment of the Universe.
You're 100% correct, and I'm wrong.
which is like feels a little bit arbitrary. I also like my issue. I have sort of like a bit of a framing issue with this one in that it's just like she's so shunted off to the right. But Fragment of the Universe...
That is what's happening in the Uptie story, by the way. I'm just stupid. I just saw It's Time for an Ordeal, and then I didn't see at the bottom, among the friends that made it to the hallway, were, one of my former responsibilities, the Fraggy of the Universe fellow.
Uh-huh. Or like anyway. But she's... Sorry. She's so shunted off to the right. And then it's so that you can see Fragment of the Universe on the left. But Fragment of the Universe is like blurry and like doesn't contrast very well with this bright red lighting sort of matte over the whole thing.
First warning, baby.
And it's just like not all that interesting. And so it's just like it's a really unbalanced image in a weird way. I feel like they could have shoved her a little bit more centered and still like we could have seen just like a perfectly reasonable amount of Fragment.
I agree with you. I also think that it's kind of hard to parse like the actual environment in this image. Like, she looks like she's doing something very cool, which is to say jumping up in the air and then about to slam her mace down on this thing. But I honestly have no idea. Just because it's like, is that the floor or the wall or what? I'm not sure.
Yeah, it's like, I can tell that pane is the floor. Fragment of the Universe is standing on it. Like, I believe that that's the floor. But what I can't tell is, like, whether or not she is like perpendicular to the floor or whether or not she's like parallel to the floor and just like it's just sort of like deeply exaggerated, you know? Like I can't tell. Is she about to like flip over and then land on her face? You know? Or is she doing like a twirl and we have sort of an exaggerated like cheated camera angle? You know, I think
she's jumped up into the air and she's gonna flip around and then slam her mace down because she's doing a cool move. But I also think that the real answer to this is probably that these two, like this part of the image where she's doing a cool thing and the background of the image were decided separately.
Uh-huh. So you think that she's parallel to the floor?
I think she's parallel to the floor.
That's reasonable.
And she's doing a cool acrobatic maneuver.
I feel like I think that her mace is sufficiently blurry enough to not need these like extremely obvious smear
Hello,
lines.
the smudge tool.
Hello, the smudge tool.
It's so funny. I can't even bring myself to be mad anymore.
That being said, like she looks great.
Her expression in this one is amazing.
Her expression in this one is great. I love the way she's holding her lance. Like her far arm like looks really like pushed to the edge of believability in like a good way. Like she's really tensed with a lot of energy to release. Again, the textures are really good. The thing I love in this one is the way that the leather straps holding the chess piece like visibly bite into the fluffy.
Yeah. You know? I still feel like I want to like give her a hug. Even though she's doing an incredible act of violence and also covered in fake-ish plate armor and teeth. Is it's like, but it'd be so nice. And she's just wearing one of those blanket hoodies, you know?
You get a better look at her like full mouth of teeth. You know, it's good.
I just love the way that her eyes are like a little, you know, the correct Don Quixote amount of like, I'm so happy to be here that it's bordering on manic.
Yeah.
It's just so good. I have used this image as reference to draw Don Quixote because I think it's a very, very good picture of her.
Yeah, her hair is really good.
Yeah.
Her like hair flying as she flies through the air, but also like catching on the horn is really good.
She's just one of my beloved guys. I used her to beat all of Kanto 7, and so I'm, for reasons other than that one, but also that one, I'm extremely fond of her.
It's a good Don Quixote. Is it a good image? Issues, but
Yes! You've successfully picked up issues, a thing which I got from my art history professor.
well, actually, this image isn't issues because we did her.
Oh
two
yeah, we already
episodes
did that
ago.
one.
Yeah, we
My
did that
bad.
one in episode 5.
Anyway,
Great.
she's sick as fuck. We'll see more of her in a bit. Wait, this is from All Purchase Not 2. I'm stupid.
It's
It's literally on the page.
It's fine.
It's fine. No one cares about this. Asterisk.
Wade Lineage?
Wade Lineage Sosu Don
Wade
Quixote.
Lineage Sosu.
In a month after they released Lobotomy Ego Lantern, they were like, okay, but what if we did Don Quixote and Otis again?
Again.
The sequel. This was for the
Yield my
this
flesh
was
to
for
claim their
the
bones.
event. Yeah. And I am also extremely fond of her. Mostly I'm fond of her for sprite reasons and not for main art reasons. But I do want to talk about her sprites in a bit because they are like, I do think she's extremely charming. I also like her Uptype 1, but I'm not as fond of her Uptype 3. That's the summary of how I feel about this one.
Great. You spoiled the whole thing.
Yep.
I'm fond of both of these. I think they're both very simple. They're both very sort of simple and straightforward, but just nice. I
Why are
like
her chopsticks so sharp?
precision.
I see. Carry on.
I'm quite fond of this image. I like how, you know, I like with Don Quixote, unlike some blonde individuals. I like with Don Quixote how we get a pretty good variety of different sort of facial expressions actually, and this one feels very Don Quixote in sort of a different way. This feels very Don Quixote, sort of like, you know, studying my books of chivalry. She's so deeply genuinely focused, to the point where I guarantee, I don't know exactly what they are drinking. I just don't know enough about Korean wine, but so I don't want to call it sake, but she like she has a full
Soju.
Oh yeah, that makes sense. She has a full wine cup in front of her, and yes, she's drinking from the bottle because she's so focused. And that's the story of this one, and it's really simple and straightforward and cute. I love her pinky out. The fact that her pinky out is crazy.
She's doing a great job at etiquette.
She's such a nice nice young lady.
This is what I need to do, right? So that everybody, I just hold my pinky out and then I can do whatever I want.
Yeah. This is how I drink, and this is how I hold my chopsticks. Absolutely.
This is how I drink, this is how I hold my chopsticks. I want to know what she's eating on the plate.
It looks like little, maybe slices of fish or pork? Chicken?
Looks like it.
I
just think it's yummy. Hey, here's the thing which actually bothers me about this image, and it's the most weird, nitpicky thing. This railing, the poles holding it up, what the fuck is going on with those?
Is it just that they look kind of crooked?
They look extremely warped and strange.
Huh.
All around. You can see the one on her left and the one on her right are like, what is happening?
Sure. I don't really...
This doesn't matter at all to the image. I just noticed it and I was like, wait, what?
See, what I thought you were going to point out that I noticed as soon as you said the railing, is that the railing on the left sort of doesn't... maybe... It doesn't feel like it cleanly connects to the railing on the right. Like, whatever is happening behind her, the railing on the right feels lower. feels
It is a little bit
offline.
lower, you're right.
But like this also doesn't matter.
This also doesn't matter.
I like this background. I like the city with the little hints of red, and then the sort of the back streets.
Mm-hmm.
Presumably they're in ba.
District 19.
What corp are the Blade lineage from?
They're from S Corp 19.
That corp. Yeah, presumably they're in S corp. Hard
to say.
So you've got sort of like the big modern nest skyline, and then the sort of more traditional buildings of the back streets. I really like the blue of this sky. It contrasts nicely against her hair. I like Otis here loudly explaining her wine cup. Listen, soldier.
Listen, soldier. Not from the bottle. Fucking idiot.
I feel like there's some mild Yuri happening in this one, which I appreciate.
They're always doing Don Quixote and Otis mild Yuri. One thing that I do want to point out is not specific to this image, but I do think it's highly noticeable in this image. They always manage to give Don Quixote these extremely like dramatic eyelashes without like making me go, whoa, look at her eyelashes. And also while not making her look like a how do I phrase this? Like a cartoon bimbo? Like what am like
I genuinely I thought you were just gonna say like a girl.
Like a girl. They poke through her hair here in this image. And I don't know, it just still doesn't make her look like she's like, and by the way, I'm hashtag girl. She just looks normal. I don't know. I think about this sometimes when I'm trying to draw Don Quixote. Is I'm like, yeah, they always give her this very dramatic, dramatic lashes.
Yeah, but they never give her like, or almost never give her like makeup. She just has like big, thick eyelashes.
Which like relatable. Me too.
My eyelashes are normal, in case anyone was wondering.
And then the upside 3, which, as you've been spoiled, I'm less fond of. But there are things to really appreciate about it. For example, 3.
Yeah. She does feel like she's doing this slash and going, yeah.
Yeah. I also like that the background is relatively coherent, even though it's like a mishmash of scenes and violence. Mostly that there's a guy in it.
There's a guy there who's just been slashed through. There's a guy on the right who might have something in his skull. I'm not sure what's happening there. It's fine. I think
some stonework.
To me, this image is like it's a relatively boring action shot, but it's just kind of like technically very nicely done. And so I sort of appreciate it very simply. Again, I think both of these are very sort of like simple but well done. I think like the mechanics of her clothes look really nice. This robe looks like it fits her really well. I love the like blue through the red is really pretty actually. I feel like rarely do they do sort of like a slash effect that makes me go like ooh. Unless
instead of making you go ugh.
Yeah, but this is like, it feels appropriately blurry, and there's this sort of thing of sort of like the blue of the Blade lineage, like sort of cutting through the red of the Kurokuma or whatever. She sort of, her blade sort of shines with this blue trail of blue light that looks really good. I love her. They hold their scabbards, and you can see that she's just ripped her sword out of her scabbard and doing this
Yeah, this is the thing that I want to point out about this one, is my favorite part of this identity is the sprites in which she's holding her sword and then she has her scabbard, like, on her shoulder in her idol. She
Uh-huh.
just, like, she doesn't have any, she just holds it, she doesn't know anywhere to put it. But also, whenever she's fighting, when she's moving, she's drawing her sword, which is weird because it was out of her scabbard a second ago.
Uh-huh.
But when she guards, she uses both of them. And then often when she attacks, she's, like, also just slashing with both her sword and her scabbard. Because she's like, she's just, like, stupid.
I don't know. It seems genuinely. It strikes me as like a pretty effective offhand. It's
Yeah,
it's
I mean,
light.
it works for
You
her.
can
It's just,
you
like,
can vary up the range.
given that her whole identity story is about how she's, like, doesn't understand etiquette, the fact that she keeps fighting using her sword scabbard feels very in line with that.
Uh-huh.
I just find it extremely characterful and charming, and also all of her, all of her various sprites are very, like, she's just here to have a good time.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like the fabric looks good in this one. The lighting looks good. The way the lighting falls on her nose literally just makes her look like a cat. It makes her nose
Yeah?
look like it's the shape of a cat nose, which, like, good for her. But I'm like,
Yeah.
this is it's an extremely simple image, but it's just well executed. And I'm like, it's not going to be anyone's favorite Don Quixote, but it's certainly not, like, I don't hate it.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty much all
A good, solid Don Quixote.
solid Don Quixote.
She's got it going on. She's got it figured out. She knows what she likes, which is to say drinking wine from the bottle and beating people to death.
And I mean, who doesn't?
And I mean, who doesn't?
Who doesn't? Great. To Corp?
To Corp, it's T Corp Class 3 collection staff, Don Quixote.
In this one, she's big. In this one, her head is fucking huge.
In this one, she's in Deco 27's monitoring. You're looking at her through your peephole, and she's like, "Why, hello there."
This one is like, I think I do keep. I use this Don Quixote. She's charming. But I do think I do keep it on this art because I kind of don't like the uptight art. But, like, it does sort of disturb me because it's just some of the most kind of exaggerated body proportions that they've ever done in this game. Her head is so big.
She's in a fisheye lens, to be fair.
The way they draw the fisheye does not really justify this. IMO. Like, if it was the fisheye lens, then, like, her hat, as it went away from the middle of the fisheye lens, would not stay proportional to her head, you know what I mean? In the way that it does. And so it just looks like she is a really, really big-ass noggin.
Which she does.
In fairness, like, she's small and she's got a big one. Like, so, but it's so striking and weird. I like it. It's got an energy. It just feels kind of, like, absurdist compared to most other art in this game.
I mean, yeah, I feel that way about the T-Corp aesthetic in general. Like, there are things that I like about sort of the T-Corp general aura. I like the Eurodivi identities quite a lot. But, like, I don't think I'll ever really be fond of the T-Corp collection staff identities. And this is just because, like, maybe it's because the first time they show up in game is, like, in the middle of a flashback sequence, and also they look completely insane and are on the most dramatic, insane background of all time and being, like, time collectors. And it's like, sorry, I thought we were doing Yi Song's The Wings. But, like, I think they're very funny. I think this image is very funny, that it's like me strolling up to your nice suburban house in my station wagon. You know, you've got your flowers in the yard and your nice metal banisters, and it's like, hello, I'm the debt collector. I have a giant, tall top hat, and I'm here to fight you.
Uh-huh.
But it is like, you know, it's very funny and it's very strange. Not in particular my cup of tea. I prefer Roja's in general.
Uh-huh.
And I like
Yeah.
her in this image maybe more than I like Don Quixote in this image.
I do like how sort of like terribly bored she looks.
I
God,
like how much more you can see how insanely tall her top hat is.
yeah. God, the more I process this image, the more I'm like, they do this fisheye really weirdly. Why does Roja look like she's like genuinely like she's 35% boob? Um, um, but like,
Now, the thing I do like about this is, like, if there's anything in particular that I'm fond of about the design of the T Corp collectors, it's like when they're in their normal clothing, the
yeah,
attempts made to like disguise the fact that they fully have insane prosthetic bodies.
uh-huh.
Like, I like the fact that Don Quixote is wearing a little, like, not a turtleneck, but like, you know, an undershirt here to disguise the fact that if you look at her sprites and everything, it's like, and then from the head down, she's just plate armor.
Uh-huh. Yeah, you can see like the gloves poking out of the jacket more than they should be. Ooh, excuse me. The like, you know, the weird stuff on the side of her head. I love this little sort of like snaking wire coming out from her collar that like
Presumably, like an earpiece, but that's
I
just in your body all the time?
I think it's just like I think it's some bit of it's like a pipe or a wire connecting her like headpiece to her like body armor, right? And it's just like you're right. It's fun that she's disguised. I like the detail, and I do like I do like how she's drawn like all the bits of her clothes. I like how disheveled she looks for like supposed professional. Roja looks like she brushed her fucking hair.
I
Thing
don't
that
think Don
Don
Quixote
Quixote.
ever looked like she brushed her fucking hair.
Yeah. I feel like the metal in this looks really nice. I like that her
It does.
badge is also her pocket watch.
Mm-hmm.
I'm generally fond. It is like in an ego frame by putting it in this
It is.
circle. But I do think that this image is full of sort of fun little details. I love like the extra backup that they have, like flanking to the side. I love that this guy has like these white peonies planted outside. There's something sort of satisfying about white flowers. In T Corp, like if you can have colorful flowers, you might have nice bright white flowers. You know, you can clearly see the car. You can clearly see like the shops and the trees of the street. It's that sort of like fade pleasingly into the background. It's a nicely drawn image. I just think that like the way that this Don Quixote rendered is rendered is extremely to taste. And is it to my taste? I sort of couldn't tell you, but it's certainly striking.
And then you look at the upside 3 image, and she's experiencing the horrors? Question mark.
I guess I don't
It's
remember
really
what, like,
hard to parse what her deal is, I think, because when she's doing regular shit, she seems very normal, but when she is being collection staff, which is to say in her fucking armor, she has this extremely blank expression that is similar to her W Corp ID, where it's like, are you sad? But I really just couldn't tell you why or how. I like looking at the details of this prosthetic body. I love these weird rib cage, like, hydraulic valves.
yeah,
But, like, it's her face, it's the way that she's positioned in the frame, it's the way that, like, most of the image is taken up by incomprehensible visual artifacts, because that's what the T-Corp identities do. Fucking...
Yeah, I do like things that I think are positive about this image. I'm mad that these sort of raptor claw fingers they do have to be there, but they do annoy me because I just want to look at her. But you're right that the details of the armor are really lovingly done. This whole thing of metal plates with sort of leather stitched onto them is really good. You can see gears. You can sort of you can almost get a feeling for how this thing works, even though it's actually total bullshit. And the body mechanics of it don't make any sense. And it's just it's a fun piece of armor to sort of pick apart with your eyes. I do listen, you know what I'm gonna say? You cannot see what the fuck this weapon is at all.
No, it's a pickaxe.
It's a time pick. And my sort of my guilty admission is that I don't really care about the time pick that much. I don't really care that much. But it is just sort of and then she sort of shoves some abstract gear shapes at the screen, and it's okay, what is she doing? Is she I don't know. If you don't know that this is a time pickaxe, is it obvious what the action is here?
Not really, I think.
I don't think so. It's not
It's just fucked up because they made the other two now that Otis is released. They made the other two T-Corp identities, Uptie 3s, look so much better. And it's just because they're not trying to do this, big dramatic fucking thing. It's Roge's, she's just adjusting her watch, and she's got a little bit of the visual artifacting, but not much. And then Otis's, if I may, that is my beautiful husband, and he looks great. It's it has a bunch of the weird visual shit, but it looks much more comprehensible because it's not just colors in random places. It's things that are in the image repeating, and a line that can be followed going through the whole image. In this one, on the other hand, it's there's a little bit of the after image of her, but mostly because it's her pickaxe driving into a guy, and it's just the image of gears and then a bunch of white light, and there's not really a background to hold on to, and the bit of character there is to hold on to, which is her, looks weird.
Yeah, and she's sort of just I don't know, she doesn't look that much, especially compared to the first image, in which she's made so round. She just doesn't look that much like Don Quixote. Her face feels sort of too tall, and it's just she just doesn't quite look right. And also the expression that she's making does make no sense. She's not even particularly upset. She's just I want to get work done because
she's just going to work.
She's literally just at work, but she's not even upset by it. And it's I don't know what we're up to.
I also just don't like when guys have sprites that then remove their face if they're doing a thing. The fact that she just turns into a regular enemy when you activate her ability kind of pisses me off.
Yeah. Also, her sprites are kind of goofy, in the sense that they obviously they have an image that is a flat plane of this time chainsaw ? And then they just
my time chainsaw.
And then they just kind of warp it. They don't redraw it ever. They just kind of warp it in various ways to be perspective, and that looks weird and kind of bad. And it's
I don't know why they. Sorry that I have no. I don't have enough whimsy to enjoy the T-Corp guys. They're a little bit too weird for me. Weird in the sphere that I'm not.
See,
I don't enjoy as much.
I have the opposite opinion. I think that they're a little bit boring. I I think that I think that like the really good thing that a Project Moon aesthetic can add to things
Mm.
is making everything look like a going to work outfit.
Mm-hmm.
Like the Blade lineage outfit, which I guess Don Quixote's doesn't, huh? But like there was a previous one where it's like, ooh, you're a cool swordsman, and yet you're still wearing like a collared shirt and tie.
Yeah.
And like that's funny. But I think that like the like sort of Victorian steampunk thing, everyone is already wearing a collared shirt and tie. And I don't think that their sort of time punk aesthetic is sort of distinct in any particularly interesting way. Um,
Yeah.
they do a lot of it with sort of like I like it when I like it in motion when they move really fast and like clearly like jump through time teleports behind you, right? But like I think T Corp is a little, it can be a little dull.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry,
Sorry.
sorry. And
One
on
more
that
and then
note,
break.
oh yeah, wait, what's next?
Actually, next is manager. Let's take a break.
Let's take a break.
결국 당신이 꾸었던 공전이라는 허울 좋은 꿈은 가족을 울타리 밖으로 내팽개친 무책임한 어버이로 끝을 맺는군요. 왜 우리의 고통은 안중에도 없었던 겁니까? 왜 우리는 항상 희생을 강요당해야만 했던 겁니까?
Do you want to hear about my gross drink?
Yeah, what's your gross drink today?
It's not bad actually. It's root beer. It's sugar free, A&W root beer, mixed with de-alcoholized real beer. I know, right? It's actually quite good because they
That sounds fascinating. I don't think I would enjoy that at all.
Well, they sort of have similar sort of flavor profiles, and so it works.
I don't like root beer.
And also, but like, you know, the root beer adds sort of a nice sweetness to the beer, and the beer adds sort of a nice sort of sharpness to the root beer. It's nice. I like it.
I would do this with other beverages that are like, I
Uh-huh.
would add a de-alcoholized beverage to another beverage in many cases.
Many such cases.
Just to add like a sharpness to the drink.
Uh-huh.
But like, you can enjoy that one on your own.
That's fine. I wasn't.
I was like, that does sound instinctually pleasing, but I wouldn't like it.
I mean, I wasn't offering.
I just assume you're always offering.
Buy me a drink now.
Buy me a drink.
Period.
Someone else already bought me a drink today, so...
Can only one person a day buy you a drink?
No, I'm just saying you're behind.
I'm behind on my quota. Fuck.
You're behind, You're behind my roommate.
Uh-huh.
In the buying me a drink category. Actually, he bought me multiple drinks.
Wow.
Because of going to get groceries and also getting me dinner.
Uh-huh. Drinks are groceries.
Drinks are groceries.
Drinks are groceries.
Drinks are gross.
True. And that's why you shouldn't drink.
And that's why kids stay in school.
Uh-huh.
It's the manager of Manchaland, Don Quixote.
Hi, welcome back.
Hi, welcome back.
I don't think that was the best we've ever done it. But it was like
It's
fine.
not. Hey.
Hey,
I
where are we starting?
At the manager of La Manchaland, Don Quixote?
Yeah, but like within that category.
I was in the middle of a sentence.
I was setting you up. It was
I have generally mixed feelings on the actual art of this identity. But I do really like the identity itself for many reasons. Like, I won't just spoil how I feel about the Uptie 1 and Uptie 3 this time. You're welcome. But, like, I just think that, like, an important part of the Sancho experience for me is how much she's, like, gay. And how much of Canto 7 is, like, and then Sancho was gay. Like, socially and culturally gay. And was treated like someone who is socially queer. And so this identity in which, like, bad end Don Quixote is, like, Sancho, but they make her take on a maternal caretaking role. Sancho, but they do a, like, conversion therapy on her. Is, like, first of all, very... It justifies many of my feelings about Sancho from Canto 7 of Limbus Company. But also, it's just, like, you know... I appreciate adding to the to the cast of potential Don's Quixote, where you have, like, Limbus Company Don Quixote, you have pre-Limbus Company Don Quixote, you have Sancho, and then you have, like, sad and evil Sancho. And it's like all four of these special guys with their powers combined make up one Don Quixote.
It is fun how it sort of, you know, it's kind of queer no matter how you look at it, you know? Either, you know, she's become the father, and that's kind of queer. Or she's become the mother, but before she was something that wasn't a mother, and that's also kind of queer.
She's got the longer hair, which I sort of can't help but, like, be like, yeah. Hashtag girl.
She's like, fuck. What? I totally forget their name. But the guy from Kakagurui XX.
Oh my god.
Who's like,
yeah.
cut your hair and become a real boy to get revenge.
Wait. Oh, what's their name? No. I love them so much. I don't remember what their name is.
Something Bobby.
Batsubami.
Yeah, this is bad end Batsubami, right? Where it's like, keep your hair long and be a slave to the system. She's bad end Batsubami from Kakagurui XX.
Oh my god.
Does anyone know what we're talking about? Maybe not.
Hey guys, you should watch Kakagurui and you'll understand the genderqueer one from Kakagurui XX, Rei Batsubami, and how they're the same as Sancho. They detransitioned Sancho, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, just like Rei Batsubami.
Just like Rei Batsubami! They detransitioned Rei Batsubami!
Anyway. So true. I don't have much to say. I really like the long hair. It's so, like, especially compared to all of the other of these sort of season featured things. it gives her such a striking profile relative to any other Don Quixote. And it just like, yeah. Am I allowed to talk about how diagonal she is? Are we done talking about gender politics? And can I talk about...
We can be done talking about gender politics and start talking about diagonalitis, sure.
So part of the reason this image is queer is that she's extremely diagonal.
She's not straight.
She's not straight. I have problems with this. I don't like it when video characters
We believe
video
in
game aren't
heteronormativity.
Straight. I believe in oh fuck. What's the word for like aligning to the north, south, east, west grid?
Orthogonal?
Yeah, orthogonormativity. We believe in orthogonormativity.
We need orthogonormativity.
Listen. I don't think that in an image that you're never allowed to be diagonal. And like I think that like in although I have qualms with a lot of sort of like horizontal art game art that is of characters that makes them diagonal to fit more of them in the screen. I don't necessarily think that's what's happening. They're trying to like give the scene a sort of jarring lilt, right? And they're sort of like, the fact that the red of the carnival is sort of lower than the blue of the Don Quixote and Barry's conversation has like meaning. But I do think that the fact that they're diagonal, that she is the fact that she is diagonal does kind of just like make her look worse.
Yeah.
It's just like I remember.
I mean, we did a sample.
It's pinned in our Project Moon conversation. Emma made an edit of this. I'm gonna make this the YouTube thumbnail. I'm gonna rotate her for the YouTube thumbnail, so you can go look at this.
Rotate her.
Side panel of the YouTube thumbnail. But Emma rotated her to be straight up, and I just think that she looks so much better. The thing about putting people on this sort of diagonal plane is that you really like. You lose a lot of sense of body mechanics relative to each other. I'll explain what I mean in a second. And you also lose a lot of kind of physics, because it just like looks wonky to your eyes when things are falling down diagonal. Like her hair looks super wonky in the original one to me. It just like it feels like it's being pulled off to the left, even as if like she actually is on a diagonal, which she is not. The floor is not literally slanted, but like because her hair is sort of drifting off to the left. It looks like it's like falling. Which is not literally what's happening. Instead, it's sort of like, she's just done sort of like an Otsukami sort of anime hair flip kind of thing, as she cracks her head around. And so like it messes with your sense of physics. There's not that much sort of fabric. It's mostly the hair that it messes with. Like again, see this little bit of hair like next to her jawline that's just sort of sticking out in front of her ear. That feels like it's floating because again, it looks like her hair is being pulled to the left as if there's diagonal gravity, and thus that looks like it's floating even though it's not, and that is just weird to me. And also when you straighten her out, fuck,
wow,
she like you can look at like her head and you get a much better sense of how her head has this sort of like, it has like a little bit of a, she's not just looking back, she's sort of tilting her head down a little bit, and that's lost a little bit in the diagonal, because the diagonal counterbalances her head tilts, such that her head looks just kind of normal and right up, even though like what she's actually doing is she's doing sort of like a and sort of like throwing her chin down into her collarbone just a little bit. And so it's just like, and also I like the composition of this image. You know, this kind of like, ooh, it's the darkness of the family on one side, and then the lightness on one side. But it's like, ooh, the light is bad. It's like, you know, it's at worst perfectly serviceable. But like, you don't have to sound like you're enjoying it so much when I'm getting heated about images. But like,
I can't enjoy your company on the podcast.
You haven't even bought me a drink yet.
You're right.
But like, I don't know. Like, I don't know. The main thing that the diagonal sort of achieves, I guess, again, is like sort of making the red look sort of like the pits of hell in that it's lower, and that's fine, but it also like it ends up giving so much more frame space to the dawn. It's just a little bit off, and I think
it just doesn't need to be like that.
It just doesn't need to be on this strict of a diagonal, and I don't think it benefits for how much of a diagonal it is. Like, this pillar is a really nice reference. I wish I had a protractor. Stupidest thing I've ever said. It's like a 20.
It's like fully like 40 degrees.
It's a 40. It's maybe like 30. It's quite an angle. That's quite an angle. And you could just give it a little bit of an angle. And I just don't think that this extreme angle does more good than it does bad. I don't know. There's an alternate world, right, where I'm like, ooh, you know, the light is above and the red is below, and it does look like she's sort of falling back into the red. But I'm just like, I feel like you could do that in a satisfying way without kind of like fucking up a bunch of things by proxy by putting it on this massive 30-degree diagonal. That's my rant. Did you enjoy it?
Yeah.
Subscribe for more.
I'm subscribed.
You are. If anyone's subscribed, it's you.
Hey, can I talk about how much I like Sancho's outfit now?
Yes, you can talk about the outfit. I'm done ripping into composition.
The composition of this image is a very important part of this image. But personally, for me, I think it's always time to talk about Sancho. You know, Sancho from Sancho.
Yeah.
And specifically her incredible outfit, which I love, with this fucking like dark brown jacket over this white like pantsuit, like jumpsuit with the high collar and her riding boots, and it's all so good, and I'm obsessed with it, and it's so like,
yeah, I love this shirt on her. It's such a good, it's a really good kind of like, we talked about this. We talked about this at some point. We talked about this in the bonus episode where we were talking about Big Don Quixote.
Yeah.
Where it's like they clearly break from the style of the city. But I really like this particular shirt, even if you're only looking at the art and you're not looking at the sprite and seeing that it's this like weird like riding one piece. Even if you're just looking at the sprite, it does a really good job of like feeling archaic and feeling this sort of like, you know, 1600s Spaniard thing, while also like maintaining a bit of that cyberpunk to it. I can't explain exactly why, but the lines are just kind of, it's just got sort of clean lines and geometric shapes in a way that sort of still makes it feel sort of coherently cyberpunk, and that's very pleasing to me. It's almost like a Star Wars shirt.
She just looks so good all the time to me.
Yeah.
And it's just like, Hey, it's really funny that I keep going over to go look at actual like CGs of Sancho, and it's really funny that limbuscompany.wiki.gg/wiki/Sancho just redirects to Don Quixote. Like accurate, but I do almost wish that they had separate wiki pages so I could get to these gallery sprites more easily. But like I'm just looking at the like CGs where you first see Sancho in Canto 7, where you see her with Rocinante on, and next to the LCB Don Quixote walking up to fucking the bloodborne ass La Manchaland Don Quixote. And it's just like, I rarely have the impulse to cosplay things, and this I feel would be like a project that would require some sewing acumen that I do not have. But God, if I don't wish that I had this outfit and could do a whole Sancho cosplay. It gives her such an immediately regal air that you see when you see it first. She looks so immediately handsome. And it's like, the first time that I saw Sancho in the CGs where you first see Sancho, I was freaking the fuck out, as everyone was, first of all, because that's Sancho, but also just because I was like, why are you so beautiful?
It is like... It's really good. It does a really good job at sort of like hitting this kind of like it's also just, it's so gray and brown, you know? It's sort of a dull outfit. It's gray and brown, and like, it has lots of ornamentation, but it's pretty minimal. And it like is a bit depressing, but it also like has really, she sort of can't escape being a vampire, in that this outfit absolutely does have a certain degree of sex appeal.
Like she is a vampire. She's so much less ostentatious than literally everybody else in this whole fucking situation, because she's just sort of a normal squire, but she's still got these goddamn like golden braided
she's still wearing like a tight white jumpsuit, and it's like, okay.
It's like, okay. I just think that she's very beautiful. I'm gonna continue to be sort of ambiguous about how I feel about Sancho's gender as a whole, as I earlier just was referring to Otis as my husband and slipped into he. This podcast isn't for my, queer headcanons about Limbus Company characters. It's only about the queer canons of Limbus Company characters.
Yeah, this podcast isn't for Ash.
This podcast is not for me. If this podcast was for me, you would be having a very different experience.
Listen, people, it could get so much worse. You don't want to know how bad it gets talking about Limbus Company on our own time at like 3 a.m.
Oh my god. But she is just like wonderful. Anyway, moving to the Uptide 3.
I like this image more. As much as I really like the outfit detailing in this image, by God, this is some of the best weapon detailing they've ever done, and it looks so fucking good.
It looks crazy.
Just the sort of like, what's the name of this type of pattern? Fucking, it's not paisley, is it? Am I thinking of paisley? It's sort of a paisley. No, paisley is a specific thing. Anyway, just this sort of like flowered, like sort of almost fabric-looking pattern across this lance, which is this such a distinct sort of weird shiny material that has all these like nooks and crevices and weird curves, and it's such a weird geometric object. I feel like they had to have like rendered this in 3D and then like put this texture over it and then done like a paint under the pattern. That's my guess for how, because a lot of it is clearly like painted. It's not like a textured object, but like the pattern, the object is so complex and the pattern conforms so clearly to it that I imagine it was a 3D object first, and then the pattern, and then the paint under and over the pattern. That's my guess. But like, God, and like, you know, her expression is sort of nothing, but it pairs really well with the thing, and the like one tear of blood trickling down in the shadow is really good. I love the fluffiness of her scarf. Oh my God, the way the end of the lance like pokes through the feathers of the scarf. It's like,
Yeah.
I like weapons.
This podcast is for Ivy.
Yeah, sorry, yeah.
Weirdly, when we're talking about Mahjong Soul, it's my podcast. When we're talking about Liv is Company, it's Ivy's podcast. And this is how we keep it equitable.
I just think, like, you know, the last image is a picture of Sancho, and it's a good picture of Sancho, even though I have qualms of, and this is a picture of this fucked weapon and this fucked scarf. And I'm like, yeah, perfect little diptych.
God, shuts the fuck out.
I like, there's a bunch of little details here. Like, I like how, like, there's a little bit of the blue, below her. Like, she's standing on top of this sort of blue patch of lighting as if she's conquered it, and she's like thrusting the concept of red forward to be like, no, it's red now, fuck blue.
Yeah. So I'm distracted looking at all of her sprites, of which she has 10 million, of course, because she's the manager of Manchaland, Don Quixote. I just want to look at her evade sprite all the time, in which she's, like, got one hand on the ground and raising up her... It's similar to how they have one sprite of the time pick. They really just have, like, one image of this lance, and they just kind of, like, move it around like a little paper doll, which is totally fine. I think I might die if I had to draw this twice.
Well, they're not the thing with they're not like rotating it in the same way.
No, yeah.
Or they might be a little bit, but only in smear frames. My problem with the T-Corp thing is that it had the rotated in 3D space chainsaw, like on keyframes that she holds for a long time, and I'm like, I don't know if you can do that. That looks kind of bad. But like, I do, you know. If we're done talking about this image, it's just really full of pretty details. But like, I do love the way that she moves. In particular, like her weapon is so long and unwieldy and sort of sucks, but she like she wields it as if it weighs nothing, which it sort of functionally does, because it's made of her blood being like rendered in real time. And she's just so like weirdly spookily agile. And it's nice. I love big scissors because I love big scissors.
The way that her big scissors skill looks, enhanced skill 2, the animation for it, is crazy good. She's like so much more keyframed than like everybody else, I feel like. Where like she just has so much fewer interstitial sprites than some characters do, which I'm sure is partially because she just has like a million skill sprites. But like also, you know, like you said, Sancho, when you fight her first in Kanto 7, has the same like way of moving as Ricardo does in Kanto 5, where she's just insanely fast. And so you just have to like, you know, you just watch the rhythm of the battle totally fly and out of your hands and spin out of control as she just goes faster than you can parse. And so these super keyframed animations in which she does movements with a very long weapon that should take a long time to move through the air, but it moves through the air instantly because it just literally isn't drawn in the middle.
Yeah, totally. they're so good at animation timing. She just like clips from pose to pose to pose to pose, and then suddenly she's there, and it's like it's really good. Like she doesn't look as good as the enemy, naturally, which is totally fine. Just different priorities, but like she is crazy.
She's crazy.
She's crazy.
She's crazy.
She's crazy. Now, is it time to talk about old men?
Let's talk about old men. We've been on this woman for too long. Let's look at Don Quixote being an old man. Hey, it's Alucard.
Old man thirst trapped.
It's Alucard from fucking Helsing.
We're talking about Song Association East Section 3 Don Quixote.
Thank you. I got distracted by her being Alucard from Helsing and had to... You know how it is. Oh my god. I love her so much. Why the fuck did they release this identity? Like, in the middle of everything else that was happening? She's just a random standard fare identity that they released in March. Like, a couple months after, Manager of Manchaland came out. And it's like, hey, what? Why is she... She's got an earring on the gay ear.
That is a talisman, notably.
Yeah. She's wearing big round sunglasses and like a fedora that's half off her head and very small. But not really a fascinator. And she's got like a leather jacket over her cheongsam, which is like lightning patterned, and also she has two obnoxious like jade bracelets on one arm, in which she's wearing a black leather glove, and the other arm she's normal, and then she's got flared white pants. It's like, what is your problem?
Truly, like, there's something so fucking insane about like the like nigh skin tight cheapao or cheongsam, same thing. The nigh skin tight cheapao over like the flared white pants is just
so
like
funny.
What is
she cooking?
What are you cooking? Bok choy, evidently, but like
bok choy, evidently.
It's like so fucking. She's like the just bizarre combination of like the Western and East, to speak very broadly, like Western and Eastern clothing pieces on this is so weird.
She's so weird.
I do love her. I do love her so much. And this image is so good.
It's so good.
It's just
the
like
chair being thrown like actively frames things really nicely. She fills up the frame really nicely, even though she's kind of shunted off to the right. Because she's got her legs crossed out. And then the chair being thrown, you got all of these people in the foreground and the background either looking on disinterestedly or involved in the fight. There's just random dumplings being thrown around.
Yeah, and it's like, God, you can imagine this like shot in an action movie, right? Where it's like action is happening, and then there's just like it slows down for a second, and our main character is sort of perfectly framed in the middle of it, and it captures.
You might be wondering how I ended up in this situation.
It captures that energy so perfectly. Her food looks delicious.
I love her restrained sparkles. Like, she's not quite glowing yet. She's like,
She's like, Any second now.
Any second now. She's still in the middle of eating her noodles.
Yeah, I love her. She's smiling while she's chewing. I love her eye. I just noticed like how nicely you can see her eyes tracking the chair, or like No, they're looking off at the guy who's yelling. She's like any second now. And you're right, like even though there's so much shit in this image, including shit in the foreground, like one, it's just like there's enough going on in this image and stuff is clear enough that like everything works. And we were just talking about diagonalitis and about trying to like fit a whole image into the screen by putting someone on a diagonal. This is a perfectly natural other way you can do that, is that like the fact that she's sitting down or has her legs crossed means that you can like see basically this whole outfit, which is super nice. You can see like the sunk collar on this, and then the sort of wave detailing on the bottom of the skirt. Her stupid glove, her stupid her bracelet going shing.
So
God,
dumb.
she's such an asshole.
She's so weird. I love the way that she's framed in the image by these curtains and the windows.
Yeah.
Like she's just right in the middle of this set piece. And then everything off to the sides is like happening around her, and it is perfect.
Yeah. Why do they make her look like an old man?
I'm obsessed with her. I love her. I think she's so weird in a way that is so charming and handsome.
Uh-huh.
Like, I'm kind of in love with weird Alucard. Don Quixote. I don't know why she's like that. It's so funny. Like, what? There was no reason to do this.
Uh-huh.
I just don't get it. But I love her so much.
And then in the Uptie 3, I do think that
she's
this image,
even more of an old man.
She's even more of an old man, but she also has like big, like skin tight dress tits, and it's like it's such a bespoke impression of a human person.
Why is she like that? I love her so much.
I do think that this image is kind of like less interesting than the last one, but that's just because the last one had so much going on. But like, oh my god, like the way they draw like the heat distortion of her weird like burning glove, the way she's like, oh my god, the way that the like melting steel like turns from, oh my god, like losing my voice, the way the melting steel like turns from the jade teal to the yellow, as it drips down, the way the smoke turns from teal to black, is just like, it's just crazy. And then the way that's reflected on the rest of the outfit, which is like is lit by this like bright turquoise with these orange highlights. This leather jacket is so shiny. It's just like,
I can't even focus on the fact that she has a leather jacket draped over her fucking the rest of her outfit. I keep forgetting that it's there.
Uh-huh.
I love the fact that they represent the fact that she's a burn poise unit by surrounding her with feathers.
I know! I don't know what the feathers are. Did she kill a chicken?
No, she's just a poise unit.
I guess she's just a poise unit. And then she's doing this stupid fucking...
Oh my god, she's so smug and it's like, so unearned.
She's like tipping her glasses like she's saying "Milady."
I don't know if this is intentional, that the palm of her hand is so red in this that it looks like she's a little bit burned on the palm of her hand. I don't know if that's intentional or just a quirk of the lighting, but I'm very fond of it.
I think if it's anything, her hand is a little bit fucked up. It's just a little bit too skeletal for me. But like, it's mostly fine. If it's anything, it's probably the heat of the bowl, right? Because she's holding a bowl of hot soup in that hand, in the previous image. And these are implied to be like immediately one after the other. So that's what I'm pitching. That's a cute detail of, or it's just like a weird lighting thing. Like, oh my god.
I also just think that her huge, like, dress tits look very normal in this image.
Yeah, no, I agree.
They don't look weirdly cheated towards the camera or, like, you know, any of that. It's just like, yeah, man, she's skin tight cheap
Yeah,
out.
she's
leaning towards you sexily.
yeah. No, it looks good.
While about to kill you with her fire hand.
I like, and again, I love material differentiation in lighting. I love how the leather jacket, like, is so hot. You can tell the leather jacket is leather because it has so many highlights. It's so highlight-y. But the cheapao is clearly silk, right? Like it's reflective. It's shiny. It's not as reflective as the leather. But it's a shiny fabric, and ergo, it's probably silk, which makes sense because it's a cheapao. And it's just like, oh, it looks so good. She's such a fucking weird asshole in this.
She's such a fucking weirdo in this one.
Old man thirst trap.
Old man thirst trap. I look at her sprites. Look at her evade sprite where she takes her hat off and then like gestures outward. Like, why are you such an asshole?
Even if this ID wasn't good, which, like, it's fine. I would want to run it just because, like, she's so funny. This is one of those martial arts IDs where they just jump all the time, and she goes, "Oh, mommy!" and then does a big jump, and I'm obsessed with it.
She loves to go, "Oh,
mommy!" Prithee, let this be an enlightening bout.
This explaineth the slight blandness of thy banquet. Why are you such a dick? And then they didn't release anything for her until actually that's not true. They released this next one in July. I just think that the in between this one and the next Will Purchase Not was the entirety of Kanto 8, and so I'm like, that was forever.
This is gonna get me in trouble in some way. This is gonna get me in trouble. But I believe that Don Quixote really never really got a Kanto 8 ID, which is fine. Not everyone does, but I've come around to I believe in Dayu Don Quixote. Saying this permanently on the internet is gonna get me in trouble. But this is... Anyway, sorry.
It's time for lobotomy ego in the name of love and hate Don Quixote.
In this one, she's gay.
Hey, in this one, she's Don Quixote.
In this one, she's Don Quixote.
Hey, I don't know if you know this, but what's the abnormality that's the most Don Quixote from Limbus Company?
In the name of love or hate and hate? Oh, love or hate.
In the name of love or hate. I figured out which one it is. It's love. Yeah, it's this one. And they were like, hey, we're doing Magical Girls while Purchase Knox. And it was like, oh, are you gonna do Queen of Hatred Don Quixote? And it's like, yeah, of course we fucking are. They did 2 of them.
I love them reading Fixers Monthly together.
Look, it's so... What the fuck?
I feel like... Okay,
it's a Fixers Monthly special issue.
Does it say... Oh my god. Sorry, I was scrolling down to look at the trivia, because I don't remember if the person on the cover is a specific person or not. Or like
I don't think so.
I don't think so. But I did look at the acquisition scene GIF, which everyone should look at every day, at least once a day. It's perfect. They're like, ooh, yay! It's so fucking
such a good GIF. She associations, Vi association, Diachi association, yay!
One of my favorite things about, I love the ways in which I feel like they kind of don't do this particularly in library, but I love the ways that Limbus Company fleshes out a lot of the more interesting stuff that happens in Lobotomy Corporation. Specifically, people like your employees' weird relationship with their abnormalities.
Because in Lobotomy Corporation, I think Lobotomy Corporation is one of the best games for fucking natural ludonarrative shit. But you inevitably end up with a guy that you're like, okay, well, you are the funeral butterflies guy. You are the Queenie guy. You are, like, you're my one sin guy. You just go and work with one sin.
Yeah, but, like, aside from a couple things, it's not, like, in the abnormality stories specifically, they're often, like, you know, all of the abnormality stories are about a guy who's, like, and this abnormality was my wife. And they just, like, and that's only sometimes captured mechanically, but in Limbus Company, they go so hard on all of these guys, not all of them, but a lot of them, being like, and then I went to work and I got to hang out with my wife, and it's like perfect. and this is such a perfect execution of it, where Don Quixote is like, you know, she's sick of the humdrum of office life and nobody understands her, and then she gets to go hang out with her wife and be like, look at all my guys, and her wife is like, wow, that's great, honey. Oh, so that's what fixers do, huh?
I'm obsessed with all of the little details of Don Quixote and Magical Girl in this image, particularly the ways in which they're drawn differently. I love how Queen of Hatred has these big pupils that Don Quixote doesn't have.
Yeah.
And, like, much smaller eyes and a more sort of, like, delicate facial feature, whereas Don Quixote is, like, yellow orb.
Yeah, she's sort of chubby. You're right, Queen of Hatred is kind of, like, she's kind of perfect in a, you know, she's kind of perfect in a way that Don Quixote isn't. Don Quixote feels drawn, like, a little bit rougher. Her nail, her hand is a little bit sort of weird and bony. She's kind of chubby.
She's got sleeves on this outfit because she has to have them for the ego suit, and so she can have the armband on. But I also think it's a funny difference between them.
And she's sort of like, she's got this sort of full face flush that's a little unflattering. And then Queen of Hatred, because she's like sort of a perfect concept of an anime girl, is just like perfect. She's so perfectly pink and so perfectly proportioned. And her hair is like perfect in a way that Don Quixote's isn't. But I like all the ways they match too. I love this little bit of Don. It's not actually like a ponytail, is it? Oh, yeah. I think it is. She does have the ponytails, yeah.
Yeah, she does have the twin tails.
Well, actually, the one on the left, our left, doesn't appear to, like, be held up with any kind of thing. It feels like
it's behind her head.
I'm looking at the sprites, and she doesn't have, like, a band or anything there. Her hair just kind of like flares up to sort of mimic the Magical
really funny.
Girl. Yeah. And it's sort of like,
it's due to her high ego resonance or whatever the fuck.
Yeah, and she's just sort of becoming her in this weird way. But it's just like, it's such a, I love the light sort of shining out of the book, and these sort of ghostly figures of the legendary fixers in the background.
The Deviat, the Zwei, the Sank, the Dieci, and then also that one woman from Library of Ruina.
She's just like, she's so gay.
She's so gay.
Sorry,
girl. I love that they have her put on like cosmetics in this one, that she's got the little manicured like pink nails that are still a little bit too sharp. And then she's got the super like, you know, shiny blush that Magical Girl also has. I don't know, man. This one is just sort of like everything that you could have wanted out of Don Quixote and Queen of Hatred. Like, I don't know what anybody was expecting, but it basically should just look like this. Wait, hold on. Detail that I love is if you look at the collars of these outfits, behind the big bow, you can see Don Quixote still having a little bit of a tie because it's an ego suit.
I was just looking at that. But again, Queen of Hatred is like perfect. Her outfit is perfect. You can see like Don Quixote has like sleeves that shouldn't be there under her shoulder piece.
So fucking weird.
So fucking weird and funny. Oh, man.
I I don't know if I've even actually looked at the uptie 3 of this image properly before.
I like the uptie 3.
I'm kind of obsessed with it.
It's crazy.
Wait, this is crazy. I don't think I've actually ever seen this properly. I think I've only glanced at it, and this is the first time I'm seeing it.
It's crazy.
Yeah, this shit fucking rules. What the hell?
Oh my god. Let me, like...
It's good. Well, it's good because it's, like... It's such a, like, an explicit, like... Hey, we're doing the fucked up magical girls thing. In a way that, like, obviously Lobotomy Corporation and Library of Ruina has been on this forever. We're doing Madoka Magica. Everybody knows that we're doing Madoka Magica. But I love that she's got her tongue sticking out. She's doing a pose. She's covered in blood. Like, it's egregious. Like, it's just ridiculously... And then she's got her stockings and her garters, and she's sticking her hip out, and she's got the little bit of thigh exposed that's got blood splashed onto it. And it's, like, insanely, like, all of the things. It's like, I'm a perfect little object, I'm a perfect little avatar of violence, I'm a perfect little girl, like... It's so explicit. It's so ridiculous, but it's so good.
This image is actually kind of part of the reason why I don't like the ego as much. Because I just think that this image just is a better... I mean, they're different sort of things conceptually, but I think this is just sort of a better image of her in this outfit. Even though technically, again, they're slightly different outfits technically. But this image, it's just dripping with so much detail. Here's several of my favorite details. Here's here's sort of a guilty pleasure. One of my favorite parts of this image. On her left thigh, the blood splatter that's sort of being sucked in by the thigh squish of the thigh high is like, whoa. But like,
she's got the thigh squish.
I love that, like, I love that she's got the magical girl staff, but it's like, it's attached to this, like, really brutalist ego weapons staff. Like, it's really, like, a constructed thing. I love all the parts of her that are, like, clearly, like, you know, she's in the outfit, but, like, she still has, like, the sleeves and the armbands. And, like,
she's at work.
She's at work. But I love the layers of this skirt and the way the layers fall over each other. You got this multiple layers.
The slightly layered but also slightly fake layered, like, vest, and then the 2 layers of the skirt and then the ruffles under it. Ooh.
I love the way that these ties sort of pull the vest together and kind of, like, pull her figure in a little bit. You can sort of see that in sort of the stress lines of the fabric. And, like, the way her boobs sit. I just like all the textures in it. I think that some of these blood splatters are some of them are really good. This clear, like, line of blood across her face that almost looks like fingertips is so good. Some of it's a little bit just sort of like it's dots of red. But, like, oh my god, her, like, somehow she manages to keep her left hand, like, perfectly clean.
Yeah.
And it's just this perfectly clean thing sort of flared off in the back. And her facial expression is crazy. Look at how nice and plump and shiny her little tongue looks like.
I know.
It's crazy. I think it's
And she's got a little star coming out from the wink.
Crazy. Yeah. Which is like, you know, normally she has the little shing, the little star, the little 4-pointed star, right? The glint. And so it's more of this sense of, like, she's being taken over by the essence of magical girl.
Jesus Christ. I love the way that this pink circle of, like, ego resonance or whatever the fuck invades on the Walpurgisnacht border that is usually there. Like, that's a good use of that insane kind of bad piece of framing you insist on, is to disrupt it like this, to have it be like, actually, this is my ego portrait.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm obsessed with it.
I like how if you flick between the two images, I love how, like, one, the frame is sort of like tightened and sort of become rounder over her.
Mm-hmm.
But I love how, again, like, she has shifted from the right of the image to the left of the image where
Yeah,
Magical Girl
where
is.
Queen of Hatred is.
Look at how her hair has become, like, a little bit more similar to Queen of
Oh my
Hatred's.
god. And the way that, like, in the first one, she has this perfect, like, round face with the huge eyes, and she looks so, like, imperfect and weird next to perfect little anime girl Queen of Hatred. And then in the latter one, she has these much smaller facial proportions and, like, a taller face in a way that's more similar to Queen of Hatred.
Yeah, it's spooky.
Again, it's scary.
It's genuinely such a good image. It's like,
oh my god.
It's like, you know, it's hot, it's weird, it's scary, it's great. The physics and the dynamics of everything are perfect. Like, it's just like, it's so fucking good.
It's just so insanely gratuitous and, like, such a good, like, hey, you know exactly what we're doing? It's this exact, like, we're doing this exact piece of overdone, like, parody, you know, horror. And then it's just, like, it just is still just genuinely fucked up.
Uh-huh. It's just perfect.
It's just perfect.
Yeah, look at how in the first image, she just, like, her sort of pigtails are these kind of, like, limp kind of impressions. And then in the second one, they're these perfectly curled springs.
Yeah, my god.
It's just like, it's such a good image on its own. Both of these images are so good as singular pieces. They both have such a strong impact. And then they also just work really well together. It's just like, it's perfect. They just released a perfect Don. They released a perfect
finally
Don Quixote, just like right before we were about to record this episode, relatively speaking. And it's like, thanks.
Oh my god. Ego gear sync threshold exceeded. She still has the fragment of the universe ego gift.
Uh-huh.
Which I appreciate.
Did she? Oh, she lost the void dream horns
and the meat lantern teeth.
Yeah. The horns make sense because I think the horns fill the same slot as the.
It might be the same head slot.
Uh-huh.
Dunno. You can't see her teeth in either of these anyway, so hard to say. Well, I guess she has a little bit of a flat tooth line in the uptie one.
Yeah. But she still is the yeah.
Cute.
It's so good. And even just, like, the fact that this is the same Don Quixote as the other one is also just, like, such a good, like, it's such a good sort of ludo-narrative implementation of Lobotomy Corporation, because this is what happens, is, like, you know, you have your guys managing, like, Meat Lantern and Fragment of the Universe, who are both, what, like, Teth? Yeah, and then they level up, and you move them down in the facility, and then, you know, now they're the head of a new department in the middle section. And it's like, yeah, it's great, it's awesome.
Oh my god, really good.
Uh-huh.
Hey, let's move to some ego. We'll take a quick break from Love and Hate. And we'll get back to it in a second. Opening the episode with lobotomy ego, getting to this in the middle, and then ending the episode with the actual ego. Perfect little narrative arc.
Yeah.
And in the middle, we also have to do all of the season shit.
It's Yearning Merkala. It's the season featured ego.
You saw it maybe too much.
It's really good, is the thing.
It's really
good. It just wipes entire teams.
It is. When we first saw like a preview of this ego, I was like, I don't know how I feel about, like, Vampire Princess Don Quixote. First of all, I would know how I felt about Vampire Princess Don Quixote 3 weeks from then. Second of all, because if you only see the top half of it, like you do in, like, the season banner and shit, you can't tell that she's got on, like, the coat, and then this, like, it's not a corset. What is that thing?
It's not a cummerbund, is it? It's
not a cummerbund.
Is it not some kind of corset?
Some kind of corset. And then she's got on pants and big, tall, thigh-high boots with the red accents. If you can't see that, I was like, why are they putting Don Quixote in a vampire princess dress with very long hair? And I was like, well, I would get it later. I would understand why later. But coming off of, like, Warp Event and everyone being, like, you know, weird about Sancho, who they didn't know was Sancho yet, it was very weird seeing this and being like, hey, what are we doing here? Like, actually?
Yeah.
Now, of course,
right.
I understand.
You're right that the preview image looked very feminine, but no, she's dressed like a little gentleman.
She's dressed like a little gentleman, first of all.
I love, I mean, these thigh-high boots that have the little, like, bright red lining is like, hello, excuse me?
It is fucking awesome.
But, like,
she doesn't even have the full boots. You can go look at her sprite, and it's like, well, no, she gets tangled into a bunch of thorns before they get there.
you can see it. You can see it in the image, actually. The boots, like, either get tangled in thorns or sort of, like, warped.
They just become thorns.
Yeah. But I think this coat is fucking awesome.
Yeah.
There's something about, like, the shape of this coat that sort of flares out into these two long tails. That is sort of, like, iconically vampire, but is kind of just, like, a really sick piece of clothing unto itself. Her little ascot. She's got the little gem, although I guess it's the wrong color because it should be orange. That's fine. It's just a blood gem. You know, she's clutching this rose like how you'd clutch a heart.
Yeah, and it's bleeding. I like the way that she's in the center of fucking 400 roses. It's like, you know, and then everything comes out from her head, which is the center of the image. And the chains of the ego, which they always have to have in these compositions, the circular chains around the thing are the thorns. It's quite good. I think it's quite well executed.
Yeah, it's got a nice little, you know, it's got a nice little compositional loop. Like up this sort of stream of blood to her face and then down her outfit and then sort of like looping back over her. It's good. It's like there's sort of just enough green in here, both in her sort of green hunting pants and little bits of thorns, especially at the bottom, that it doesn't get too like color monotonous, although it gets a little bit too color monotonous. It's good. It doesn't necessarily blow me away.
This might be because we saw it every single day for several months.
Sure. But like,
I agree with you, to be clear. I'm just saying.
I do think it's a good one.
It is a good one. I just like her lace ascot. I just think this is a good outfit. I you know, I'm very fond of it. It's funny how much, in hindsight, me and my friends talked about, like, in what situation would it be okay for them to make Don Quixote into a hyper-feminine vampire princess? Like, when does this become justifiable by the narrative? Saying all of this, of course, before we knew about Don Quixote, hyper-feminine vampire princess, sort of lore. And I just think that's really funny.
It's just kind of not how that played out.
No, it's not.
This is not really what happened. She's got that long hair.
I am really fond of her corrosion, in which she's sort of like a big vine snake.
Yeah.
And also she's entirely covered in thorns and her face is a rose. It's really good.
The long hair that sort of just turns to blood.
Anyway, there's not that much to say about this one, but that's because we have seen it a lot.
I think it's just kind of a simple image, honestly. It's like I do like the corrosion on the corrosion image on this one. It changes the composition a bit, but just like I feel like this shot of 300 roses is really nice. Some really good texturing work on the petals. They've got very clear kind of like lines along them, which are very nice. It's nice. Is it time to go back?
Yeah, and now that we've had this brief diversion,
away from In the Name of Love and Hate, it's time to
go back to In the Name of Love and Hate, Major Arcana Slave.
You can see after looking at the other one though, you can really see like all of the differences in that, like in this one, because it's sort of like an ego channel or whatever is happening in Limbus Company and not an ego outfit. She's just like in the fucking outfit.
She doesn't have the sleeves. She has
the proper staff.
Isn't a big fucking brutalist thing. She has a little glove.
I love the little hair tie around her wrist. That's really cute. It's really doing it for me. My like complaint looking at this originally, I do find this image kind of hard to look at. It's got so much flair to it that it feels like it's hurting my eyes. But like I do think that her legs are like extremely fucked.
She's a little bit Mahjong Soul with it.
Yeah, I don't know if this may have become like not a complaint, but she is sort of like, it's interesting because I don't feel like her body proportions, like her upper body proportions, don't strike me as particularly exaggerated. She's like a pretty reasonable, like, Basil's playing with a paper bag. Basil's my rabbit, sorry.
Shoutouts to Basil.
She's got a pretty reasonable kind of like shoulders to waist to hip ratio. And by reasonable, I just mean sort of like middle of the road, kind of average.
Anime girls.
And then no, but that's my point, is that she's not very anime girl proportioned. But then her legs are fucking crazy, her thighs are massive, and then she shrinks down to having teeny tiny little ankles. And originally I was really thrown by this, but now I'm like, she's kind of like an iconic object. So,
she is kind of an object, and so she does kind of, I know what you mean. Yeah. I don't know if I have that much to say about this one either, just because it's so much the same as Update 3, but less fucked. She's doing, the same or a very similar little pose. She's in the same outfit. I think my instinctual complaint with this one is that I wish we got to see more of Snake Queen of Hatred. But I also understand why we don't.
Right.
Like, there are parts of this where I'm like, this composition is very cluttered, and so you could get rid of bits of it, but I also understand why it's cluttered. It's because it's like, it's Don Quixote at her most Don Quixote. It's extremely colorful and loud and bright and magical girls. And also this big, like, arcana circle behind her of her casting the spell is like, but if you got rid of that, you could see the abnormality better. But you need it a little bit in order to distinguish her in the image from all of the other colorful visual clutter. And so, like, I understand the decisions that were made in the development of this image enough to be like, I get why it's like that.
Yeah,
I do think it's like, it's undercut by the delightful lobotomy ego In the Name of Love and Hate, Don Quixote ID. But this is still, like, a fantastic little image. I love the length of her hair and how it curls around in this perfect little, like, wave.
Yeah, absolutely. The shape of her hair is so good. It's just, like, perfect little hanks. I would like in 300 Roses. I would like if in the corrosion art, they got rid of the big Arcana circle and you could see a little bit more of the snake, because they've clearly like rendered a lot of it. Like if you look closely, you can actually see that like its body goes down and then it like twists, and you can see almost all the way.
You can see the
tail.
wings better when she's not in the image.
Yeah. But again, I like the big snake version being obscured is like an important part of the concept. And so like I get it, and it's fine. They actually, if you flick between them, they make the Arcana circle a little bit smaller.
Yeah, they make it
only
smaller.
a little bit.
Just
but they
kind
don't
of funny.
get rid of it. They don't get rid of it or make it more transparent. They just make it a little bit smaller.
I don't know why that is.
I think they just if you look at the ability icon, I think they just need it framed a little bit different to capture that shot of the mouth.
Which I do love the ability icon just being like an open snake mouth.
Yeah, I love that you can see like a little bit of the sort of Queen of Hatred like battle background in this one. You can see the sort of like ruined city she's always fighting in like the main encounter.
No, you go.
Were you about to talk about the corrosion sprites?
Yes, the most important part of this ego is the corrosion sprites, which are, as we talked about when this ego released, hot.
Yeah.
Beautiful, evil snake women, save me. Save me, beautiful, evil snake women.
Yeah, God, I wish that you could see like this character design in higher resolution. I love the feathered chest that like turns to scales on her arms. I kind of don't really know why she has I guess it's just because she has extra arms, but the head arms are a little goofy.
It's the pigtails, but they're the extra arms.
Oh, okay, never mind. I'm back.
It's
I'm back.
Good.
The like these just like big beautiful wings. The way that like, you know, there's this sort of like weird black tar like stuck to the tail. Is like,
it's also
on.
If you I went to go look at the actual breaching sprite from Lobotomy Corporation. Those arms are on the big snake.
Let me take a look. Oh yeah, they are.
It's just so good. It's so weird. I love these like far too detailed feathery wings that she has. That's too many fucking feathers.
I love her evil fucking staff.
I love her evil staff. I love her evil eyes. I love the fact that all her hair gets chopped off.
Yeah, she goes. I never noticed that actually. Like, not directly. She goes back to the Don Quixote bob, but like evil.
It's so good. It's my favorite part of these is that she goes back to the Don Quixote bob, but evil. It's like, you know, actually, I'm not a perfect little object. I'm still a weird gender butch.
Yeah. I do have like, you know, I don't always like it when they make egos of things that they already have outfits for, although it's fine. Just because I like variety, you know? I like when there's more stuff. But I do think that you needed to get, like, you really needed to get breaching big snake magical girl in there.
Otherwise she just doesn't appear in Limbus Company.
Yeah, you need the whole story. And so like the ID is like her in normal form and her in hysteria form, and then the ego is her in big snake form, and it's like it's perfect. You've done it.
Perfect. We finally released Peak. After one whole month of development.
After 1 month of development, we can't make this joke.
Also, I just love that her hand in this like idle corrosion sprite still has the bright pink fingernails. Like, yeah.
Oh yeah, but now they're like claws.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She got fucked up by being an object too much.
It's good. And also, hang on, let me
I also like the wiki page for In the Name of Love and Hate. Don Quixote has a thing at the top which says is not to be confused with lobotomy ego In the Name of Love and Hate Don Quixote. Like, fuck, dude. Don't confuse them.
Uh-huh. Okay, and that's images of Don Quixote. We've looked at them.
We've looked at
so many images of Don Quixote, really.
Mm-hmm. A lot of images of Don Quixote over the past Sancho September.
Don Quixote. And now it's time for numbers.
It's always sort of a big task to do numbers for like a whole guy from Limbus Company.
The thing is that Don Quixote feels really easy, and that's sort of that pings sort of a red flag in me, because I'm like, I don't want it to be that easy. But it does.
You can't make her too much of a little object,
right? Yeah, you can't make her too much like just, but like.
But it kind of is the point that she is, right?
Let's get into it. It's cute.
No, she's designed to be quite cute.
Yeah, she's cute. She makes weird little noises. She's like a weird little guy. She has interests that she's obsessed with. Classically a cute attribute. You know, she's cute. She's got a little kitty smile in like every piece of art. That's cute. She's cute.
I think the things that detract from her cuteness are usually more so things that detract from her appeal. I think if there are things that detract from her cuteness specifically, it's how often she's covered in blood. But like that's kind of a collective trait that everyone from Limbus Company has.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Was like, is she less cute because she fights guys? And I'm like, well, not really. Like everyone fights guys.
And like I'm in with regard to the Sancho of it all. I'm inclined to not let Sancho Quixote have too much bearing on the final scores here, if only because the close of Canto 7 is Sancho being Don Quixote and deciding to be Don Quixote. It's like, so your core character trait is like LCB Sinner Don Quixote from Canto 1, but slightly more emotionally mature.
I also, if I may, I think Sancho is less cute. I think
Sancho is less cute.
Is still cute. Maybe not at her like most morose, but she's sort of this like teasing little kind of jerk. And you know, she's like an earnestness
she's
to her.
Reluctant to do things and dragged along in a way that's intrinsically cute because she's Sancho Panza.
And also she's sleepy, and that's
she's
cute.
Sleepy, which is adorable.
It's cute to be sleepy.
And it's also cute to be hyper energetic.
I don't know if we give Yi Song points for like being cute because sleepy, but like possibly. But I think it's cute to be sleepy. And it's like either she's, you know, she kind of like, again, she's not a child. No. She has a certain child cuteness in that she's sleepy and grumpy, and then she takes a nap, and then she's excited. And it's like every phase of this is cute.
I think the Limbus Company Project Moon approved cuteness score for Don Quixote is a 6.
And again, like, you know, she has sort of a tragic backstory. She does some terrible bloody violence, but sort of like the Overton window in Limbus Company is just like at a different point than it is.
People
in,
are
like,
always also
games.
putting the moments in which she's doing the most violence in fan cams of her. They're like, isn't it cute?
Okay, so we're starting with a super cute, at least. Are there ways in which she is less cute than a 6? Are there cuteness detractors?
I'm not sure that there are. I think I think my initial, like, the thing that I would pull as a cuteness detractor for Don Quixote is, like, now post Canto 7, she has to occasionally have moments of being like, hey guys, remember my tragic
She can get real with it.
Mm-hmm.
She can get real with it.
She occasionally has to step out in the middle of the scene and be like, you don't even have any fucking idea.
Uh-huh. I mean, I feel like even I mean, you know, we specifically record these after the cantos. But, like, I think that, like, even pre-Canto 7, there's an element... There's an element to which Don Quixote is kind of pitiful in a non-cute way.
Mm-hmm.
Like I think that, you know, when sort of like the Virgilius thing happens in Canto 3, and she's always, you know, she's not like whoopsie, she's like, ooh, oh, okay, sorry. Is less cute. And it's like, again, trauma happens to everyone, but she doesn't necessarily have, like, a cute response to this.
Trauma, you know? Happens even to 6 cutes.
Uh-huh. And so, like, I could push down to a 5. But
I agree with you.
It has to be a 6. Just because, like, who the fuck else is gonna be a 6? Not even that, you know, we have to fill out every slot. Oh wait, sorry, next episode is gonna be a 6 cute. Never mind. It's not necessarily true. But, like, I think that there's like, I think that there's, you know, I think that she's a cute little toy, and I think there's ways in which she's a little toy that are less cute.
I think I agree with you that it should be a 5, because I was thinking about this as well. Like, the official Limbus Company approved score is a 6, but they do keep trying to undermine that occasionally, not often, because otherwise you wouldn't think she's a perfect little object. But, you know, it occasionally slips through in such a way that it's like, you know, and by the way, she, you know, suffers great abuses. And it's like,
yeah.
I'm uncomfortable.
Yeah, it's to me, it's not even like, you know, the scene in Canto 8 where she's like, where she sort of switches to Sancho a little bit, and it's like, the poor fate of a blood feed. No one who seeks immortality would be this. Like, that doesn't even detract from cute to me. It's more just sort of like, when she's sort of like a shivering, miserable heap, that you're like, oh, you're not even like a kitten out in the rain. You're just like, kind of like
Yi-song
scary.
reacts to bad things happening in a cute way, which is to say,
yeah, exactly.
He dissociates.
Yeah.
Like a wet cat.
Don Quixote, like,
is
reacts
like a
to,
puppy.
like... Don Quixote reacts to, like, serious traumatic things happening, like, by associating, by sort of snapping back to reality a little bit more, and, like, that's kind of scary, and that makes her less cute. Yeah.
So a 5.
So, like, a 5. Appeal.
Now, the Limbus Company approved appeal score for Don Quixote is a 0.
Uh-huh.
It is important that nobody likes her.
Uh-huh.
Like, and this, not to get into like talking about Limbus Company meta when we're supposed to be talking about Don Quixote numbers, but this happens in Nocturnal Sweeping, is the scene which I like so much in Nocturnal Sweeping, in which, like, everybody is mean to Heathcliff again for no reason, is, like, this is relevant to me, because even post their cantos and everyone's emotional development and shit, all of them still suck and are mean to each other, and to that extent, people still don't really like Don Quixote, even after insisting that they like her.
Yeah, I sort of like, we talk a lot about, like, how many friends does this guy have on the bus? And, like, there
Mm-hmm.
are genuine strong friendships, but, like, the closest you can get to Don Quixote's friend is, like, I mean, maybe Heathcliff, but, like, Don
Mm-hmm.
Quixote and Hong Lu are kind of friends, and
Kind
that, like,
of, yeah.
barely counts because it's Hong Lu.
Yeah.
You
It's
know?
tough. Because no one wants
And
to be around her, and at the end of her canto, she's like, well, thank
No
you
one
all
wants
for
to be
empowering
around
me to be
her.
my worst self.
No one wants to be around her when she's excited. Honestly, no one wants to be around her when she's sad. Even
Yeah,
if
like
it's a
I'm
little bit
saying,
more
it's like she gets beat up
tolerable.
by Vergilius, and everyone's like, I'm uncomfortable.
And it's like,
I don't feel like
What's-
standing up for you, nor do I feel like
Yeah.
having sympathy for you, nor do I
And it's-
want to see you.
and it's like, where's the appeal? Like, what's the appeal at for sort of like the normal average person?
She's very droll. But
she
like
is,
it's even if
but
you're
I
if
don't-
you're like on the street, if you're a civilian in K Corp, your impression of Don Quixote is fucking maniac.
Yeah, like we have not, like we still sort of firmly exist in the world of Don Quixote Volume 1, in which
Mhm.
everyone who sees her is like, what the fuck? We
Mhm.
don't yet exist in the world of Don Quixote Volume 2, although I would love to get there someday. It would be really funny, in which
Mhm.
everyone has read the book of Don Quixote and is like, wait, hang on, actually she's hilarious now that I've taken some time to process this, like, away.
I think that this should happen with the newspaper in Time Killing Time. People read the
Uh-huh.
newspaper article where she's photobombing the photo, and they're like, "Oh my god, her drolleries!" But this isn't what's happening.
No.
Does she have anything that brings the appeal up from a 0?
I'm really trying.
Mm-hmm.
She's like, she's sort of like, you know, I have suddenly I'm talking about book Don Quixote, but I have this thing about book Don Quixote, where, like, sometimes he's sort of fundamentally like a nice guy,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and, like, I think fundamentally she's like a nice guy. You
She
know?
is.
She cares about, like, the emotions of other people. Like,
She has several
young
moments in
Dante,
various
like, watch
she
over
has several
young
moments
Hong
at various
Lu.
points where it's like, you know, we're about to do something fucked up, and she's like, no.
Uh-huh.
What?
Uh-huh. And that's like, that's appealing to some people sometimes.
That's the moment most when other people on the bus are like, yeah, I'm with her.
Uh-huh.
I think this is like the scene in Canto 8 that I love so much, where everybody has a debate about whether or not to join a brewing war of the wings. And she's like, if we don't do it, we're cowards. And like half the bus is like, yeah.
Uh-huh.
And like, okay, here's actually my argument for one appeal. Both because I think it's symmetrical in a way that is accurate and satisfying. And because it's true. Is that she has had a lot of moments recently of, like, she can command a crowd. Like, I'm going to speak on this. I'm going to speak on this truth. It's more of a Sancho thing to be able to do. But, like, it's still very much a thing that she's capable of doing. Where she's like, you know, I can express in a very eloquent way, like, the horrors of this situation, or the call to action, or, you know, and so on and so forth.
Yeah, and I think like, you know, even despite herself, and even despite, like, how much people don't like her, I do think that she can be genuinely kind of a motivating force.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a very actionful crowd. The employees of Limbus Company bus.
No.
None of them are really proactive, and so the fact that she like does things and rallies people behind her, sometimes that's bad, but like sometimes it's like she's doing something when no one else would do something, and that gives her something.
Yeah.
We can give her a 1 appeal.
A symmetrical and accurate 1 appeal.
Great. 5
Kinsey
1
scale
appeal.
number.
Kinsey scale. Now, the Limbus Company approved Kinsey scale number for Don Quixote
Is a 6.
Is a 6. And I
don't think I'm inclined to debate that much.
Ash, are you ready? I've had a piece of evidence brewing for this forever. And it's like, it's not just, her general countenance. It's not just the way that we often see her rescuing women. It's not just like her various sort of soft Yuri engagements. Bari, Shichun, the Queen of Love and Hatred. It's in the way that she talks about people. And I'm probably not entirely correct about this. But women she calls lady. Almost very consistently. She's like Lady Ishmael or whatever.
Lady Otis, Captain Otis.
Yeah. But like basically all of the boys, she always calls them with the honorific young Song,
young Sinclair,
Merceau,
young Gregor,
young Hong Lu. Watch over young Hong Lu. And it's such a clear, like, men are boys, but women
are ladies.
Those are ladies.
It's like, I think there's one place I can point to where she goes like, young Otis, and it's like, why are you old? Just because it's funny for her to say young Otis when Otis is grandma. But she is like, in a bunch of other identity stories, specifically lobotomy, ego lantern Don Quixote, is like, I have a lot of trouble referring to Otis by sort of the role of a superior because I'm too busy doing light Yuri.
And like, you could be like, oh, but she's sort of like, she talks a lot about fixers, and a lot of those fixers are men, and like maybe that's something.
But
and
she talks a lot about the grass maiden. Sorry.
But I mean, yeah, but she wants to be them.
Yeah, and that's a classic homosexual experience.
And it's just like, like they just. It's not just me. It's not just that they want. It's not just that she's Don Quixote. They just keep putting her in situations with women.
They keep putting her in situations with women. She's like that due to her obsession with like misogyny. And Sancho is famously queer, and her dad keeps being like, when are you gonna have kids? And she's like, God.
And so it's just like, anyway, what I'm saying is Don Quixote Shichun forever.
516.
516. Very similar to Ishmael, who was 416.
A classic.
Which I'll remember to get forever, because call me. Wow, great, we did it.
Woo, yeah!
Woo! Another one down.
Another one in the books, and by the books, I mean the word of the works of Sitamet.
Another 8 hour long Limbus Company episode. Something like that. Thanks for listening, everyone.
It's listen here. Ivy always does this spiel, but I'll do it.
Yeah, I'm a little tired.
I'm sick, but I'm gonna do it anyway. This is because of my chivalry. Hi. If you are a person who only listens to our podcast because we do Limbus Company episodes and thus only listens to our Limbus Company episodes, that's great. I'm happy to have you. I'm glad that you respect our commentary on this video game enough that you come back extremely infrequently to listen to us talk about it. We also, as you probably know, do other stuff. Or maybe you don't because you got sent this episode by a friend, which would be cool. We do other stuff. We have season 1 of the podcast and season 3 of the podcast, which both run concurrently to this season because that's how it works. We talk about Mahjong Soul, which is the premier English language Mahjong client that also happens to be like a gacha game. So we talk about the characters and art from Mahjong Soul because that's what the original conceit of the podcast was, and it's just to talk about, like, you know, modern pinup art, and, like, this strange economy of, like, buying virtual images of hot people to have, and whether or not that, like, sort of slop that is generated, that we think of as slop, is, like, you know, has artistic viability. Is it good? Why is it good? Is it bad? Why is it bad? And how can we talk about that through the lens of Riichi Mahjong? And so that's sort of, that's our flagship product. But we also do season 3, which is both about Arknights and about food fantasy. The Arknights Limbus Company collaboration is coming out soon, and we haven't covered any of the characters that are in that one. But we might at some point. And we talk about it alongside Food Fantasy, which is a game that much fewer people care about, but I played it on a whim and was really fascinated by it. Just because, like, you know, we're kind of weird about our art and don't feel like being sellouts enough to just do an Arknight season, so we had to make it a little bit weirder so less people would listen to it. But it's good. It's good to talk about, like, the art of this much lesser known but highly themed gacha game next to the art of this much better known gacha game, which has, like, a bunch of different artists and a bunch of different themes, but is still kind of doing one thing. And how those things connect and coincide, and, like, how they both have incredible gems and also incredible flops. So if you like hearing us talk about art, which we do sometimes on this season of the podcast, we have a lot of that. And you should just come and check it out and hang out with us for 2 hours while we talk about some art that you've never seen before. I think it's a good time. It's my podcast. I like it.
My pitch is always that, like, listen, if you like Limbus Company, you like the bits of Limbus Company that we get into such that you've listened to the second part of this, unless you've listened to the second part first, which is fine, actually. But, like, you know, maybe someone sent it to you because it has, like, we talk about your favorite image in it, whatever. But, like, if you like Limbus Company, you probably like weird takes on weird art, because that's what Limbus Company is. It's taking a bunch of weird historical art and doing weird takes on it. And that's basically what we do, is we look at art and, like, does it matter if you've heard of it before? Did it matter that you hadn't read Don Quixote? No. But you find out a little bit about it, and we do a little weird deconstruction of it, and we make stupid jokes about, you know, dumb shit. And
you probably like queer people?
By this point, I hope so. By this point of this specific episode, I hope so.
I hope you do.
If you're homophobic,
we're gay,
then, like, that's a you problem. But, like, anyway, it's our little podcast. And if, like, But if you just enjoyed it for the Limbus Company stuff, that's fine. We do it every season. Not every Limbus Company season. That would be about half as much. We do it every Real World season, just because like we don't want to get through it too quickly. We do bonus episodes. Go listen to our bonus episodes. Go listen. We now have like a lot of season 2 episodes out.
Mm-hmm.
So like go listen to those. And then, maybe just dip your toe into like an episode of something else that we've done that has like a weird name you're interested in.
Even if you don't do that, I think that you should get into the practice of doing more art analysis, just personally. This is my personal pitch. Is that we do this show because art analysis is really good and important and fun. And so, like, there's no right or wrong way to look at art, and to have feelings about it. But when you see something, that you have a strong instinctual reaction to, whether it be, oh my god, I love that, or oh my god, I hate that, I just encourage you to get a little soulmates about things in your own life and talk about, why it is you feel that way, and what decisions were made in the creation of this thing that resulted in you feeling this way. It's good.
To get extremely nerdy, me and Ash have been having a lot of conversation. We've been having a few conversations recently, and also forever, about like, who sort of like owns art analysis, and what art analysis is supposed to look like. And I sort of think of soulmates as both like doing art analysis on things that people don't think deserves art analysis, because it's trash garbage, even if it might actually be very good once you take a look at it. Or even if
sometimes we do art analysis on trash garbage.
Or you might learn a lot from figuring out why it's trash garbage. But also, like, you can learn more about art analysis, and that will be very helpful to your life. But like, you don't have to go to art college to start. Just start looking at some images and thinking about them and talking about it, like composition with your friends in a really amateur way.
I'm an academic. Ivy's not. We talk about art, and it's good. We talk about art all the time. I don't know if you know this.
So much.
We do this off of the podcast. Is every time there's like a new piece of art to look at, it's like one of 2 group chats. We put it in there, and then we start talking about art for an hour.
And if you just like the Limbus Company part, and you haven't turned off the podcast yet, that's totally fine. Hey, send it to your friends. We're a small independent podcast. We have no marketing or anything. We have no money. This podcast loses me money. If you want a good time, feel free to donate to my Ko-Fi to help me pay hosting costs. Because this is a passion project. We lose a reasonable amount of money on it every month. And send it to your friends. Just go on YouTube and make clips of it and send them to your friends. Hang out, talk to us on Tumblr. Tell us all the things we said that were wrong. Tell us all the things.
Give us 5 stars on Apple Podcasts.
Give us 5 stars on Apple Podcasts. I don't know.
It helps,
whatever you
allegedly.
Want. Peace and love. Thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening. We don't have anything special to do at the end of the episode except for, tell you all the ways that you could be improving your life.
we should randomize. We should roll the next season 1 character of the podcast.
Oops. Oh yeah, we didn't do that.
We didn't do that.
Sorry, I forgot.
We're gonna briefly do a season 1 thing. We have time, yeah. We randomly roll the next character. For Limbus Company, we do them in content order. For everything else, we randomly roll our next character in a sort of pulling them from the gotcha sense. And we didn't do that at the end of our last season 1 episode, so we're gonna do it now on a different season, and you could just get a taste, I guess? Question mark.
You can get a taste of our reactions in which we don't say anything about what the character is.
Yeah, it's a whole thing. All right, I'm hitting this random button.
Okay.
Sure, fine, acceptable.
Yeah,
I'll
actually.
take it. Yeah, fun.
I haven't really looked at this guy before, so I'm quite enthusiastic about it.
Yeah, there's yeah, okay. No. Yeah. Okay, great. And if you want to know what the fuck that is about, keep an eye on the feed for the next episode.
Yay!
Wait.
Wait.
Okay, bye.
고작 이 정도로 만족하려고 폐륜의 죄까지 저지른 게 아니야. 더 많은 가족들이 배불리 먹기 위해 피의 흐름이 멈춰선 안 돼.